So this month we want to try to highlight one plant that we're working with at least every day, or something that we're foraging every day. This one is Amaranth, so that's what we're talking about today. We have two species of wild amaranth that we can find on our property. This one, Amaranthus retroflexus, or red root amaranth, and then another one we'll talk about in a little bit. They're both technically not native to our area, but you can find them all across Oklahoma. And unlike some of the other invasive non-native plants, these guys are just a little bit out of their range. They're native to just a little bit further south of us. They're not brought from Asia or something like that. They can present a problem in some areas, but they're a really great green. So problem solution kind of thing. They're awesome for animals to eat. Pigs love them, and that's one of the common names for them is also pigweed. So what parts of it do we use? We use these leaves. This species tends to be a little bit tougher, I think, than one of the other ones. Palmer's amaranth, I think, is a little bit more tender. Anyway, you can eat them fresh. If they're not tender enough for you, they can be used cooked just like any other green. In the Caribbean, they're used in a dish called talaloo. That's what they call the green. So it's been used extensively by the native peoples. They produce seeds. I don't see a lot of seed heads on these guys yet. Oh, here's one. The seed heads are a little bit spiky feeling, and they can get pretty large on some species, but they'll have little, yeah, these guys aren't ripe in here. They'll be right inside of this. Right now it's still kind of whitish colored, but the seeds will be black in there, and you can winnow them out and use them for flour or cereals, just like another grain. These aren't technically a grain, they're a pseudo grain, but they're used a lot in gluten-free cooking. You can also take these little seeds and pop them like little miniature popcorn. So anyway, this is amaranth.
All right, so this grows well in disturbed soils and in compacted soils and in soils high in nitrogen. So if you have an area that's been well fertilized, like a chicken coop or something, you might see this growing very tall. It grows well in those soils. It's also high in a few things like calcium. It is an annual, so it can grow from seed and get very tall all in 1 year. And it's related to lamb's quarter, which is known as wild spinach. The Latin name means goosefoot, chenopodium, but it is related to that lamb's quarter, another wild edible.
Okay, so this is one of the two species of amaranth that we have on our property. We already showed you the other one. Hey, puppy! But this one is Amaranthus spinosa, and spiny amaranth, and it's called that because it's got tons of little sharp thorns at the bottom of each of the leaf bracts, or the leaves right here. Yeah, but the seeds, these ones aren't quite ripe. When they're ripe, they'll be black in there, and you can eat them. And the leaves, you can eat on these guys, but they're smaller and they're tougher. When they're young and tender, they're good, but because of those thorns, it's not nearly as easy to harvest. You can also eat the shoots. Somebody on Facebook was talking about that recently, and they really like them that way. Obviously, you'd have to peel the outside parts off of these ones since they're spiny. So one other thing that I forgot to say that I wanted to point out was the cool, now we've traded our dog for a cat too. That was in the other video, is the leaves have this cool chevron pattern on them. So that's one of the ID characteristics if you don't want to feel for the thorns on this one.